and her specialty is newborn photography. It is Deanna Wright with Deanna Wright Photography. Nice to have you here, Deanna.
Thank you.
We met about a month back, 3 weeks back, Baby Box extravaganza, and Kim McLean Davis put us in touch with each other. So what's it like to be a photographer? I mean, it's got to be a challenging thing to find that moment.
It is. Newborns are a little easier, honestly, because we're a little more in control most of the time of the circumstances. So with family photography or wedding photography, catching that moment is definitely complicated. With newborn photography, in some ways it's easier because I can set everything up, set up the shot, and then I have time to take the shot, try it from different angles, get what I want.
Because sometimes when you get the baby in place, they don't move around too much.
No, hopefully. that's always the goal, right?
Depending, because newborns, I mean, a toddler would probably be a lot more difficult.
Much more.
Can you tell me about your history in photography? So it wasn't always about newborn photography.
No. So I started with wildlife in 2011. And, you know, for me, that was a passion. I loved being outdoors. I loved shooting animals. And that's a much bigger challenge because you've got to, you know, scope out their habitat, find the right place, be there, work with the lighting conditions, all of that stuff. Versus my son was born in 2014. And that's when I sort of said, hey, maybe portrait photography would be fun. You know, I'm having fun taking pictures of my baby. Maybe I should try taking pictures of some friends' babies. And then I found I really loved it. And so that's how I got into this newborn photography stuff. And, you know, I really just enjoy now the portrait photography side of things.
And look at the photos we're showing as well. So obviously here's a lady that's about to have a baby, and I mean probably about to. She looks like she's probably at 9 months there, and these children, these are gorgeous pictures.
Thank you.
Wow. Does it take a long time, though? I mean, we're sort of touching on the same thing here, but look at these moments. I mean, that looks like it would take days and days and days to find how gorgeous a shot some of these are.
Well, some of them are, you know, luck. Sometimes, especially outdoor stuff, it's luck with the weather. It's luck with, you know, a toddler cooperating.
Well, here's a newborn photo right here.
Sure.
Okay. Is it a challenge then for you to have shifted minds from wildlife to newborn photography?
Yeah, I mean, it's very different. So with wildlife photography, it was more about understanding how to use a camera and going out and taking advantage of what was in front of me. Versus with newborns, there's so much more training. So I had to learn how to pose babies. I had to learn how to set up my bowls and my baskets and make everything so that the baby's going to be presented as well as possible. I had to learn more about lighting. I had to learn how to be safe, right? That's a big thing with newborns, is how to
Tell
make
me
them
about the
safe.
safety feature, and I think I like that because I know a lot of people are putting sometimes their newborns literally in your hands for an hour or two.
100%. For me, that's the most important thing. And as a new photographer getting into newborns, you don't always realize how important it is.
Okay.
So I shoot on a beanbag, and I'm always close. And if I'm ever going to step away from the beanbag, I'm asking the parents or an assistant to be right there.
Okay.
So as settled as the newborns might look when you're seeing them on the monitor, they can startle, and when they startle, they could flip right off my beanbag. So someone always has to be like hands close when I'm shooting. If I'm shooting in a bowl or something, again, like someone's got to be close. I have this bowl here, and when I shoot in a bowl like this, I actually weight it. So I'll put like a 5 or 10 pound weight in the bottom of my bowl. If I'm shooting in a basket, I for sure put at least 10 pounds in. Yeah, there's no weight in it now.
You can tell, okay, I can understand, because if there's a weight in it and the baby shifts, then it's not going to move as much.
That's right, and I'm often shooting babies as well, like on the edge of the bowl, so then I need that weight to counterbalance against the baby, and then again, someone's always there, hands close, because I don't want to take a chance. Like, I'm never going to take a risk with a baby. When they're posed, I'm watching to make sure that like none of their feet or toes are turning purple. Like, I'm watching for circulation, I'm watching their breathing, I'm making sure that they're at ease.
That's good.
And that nothing's happening, because babies can asphyxiate. Like, it's all training. You got to be careful.
Sounds like they're in safe hands with you.
I do my best.
Sounds like you know what you're doing. So is it difficult to choose the correct props and colors that go along with each baby?
So I talk to parents when they're coming in. I brought a few different ideas here, and this is actually great because I've got this sample, and I've got the outfit that this baby was in right beside it. And so you can see, like, you know, I like to shoot with browns. I like earth tones. If I'm shooting in a gray bowl, I'm going to use a gray fur. I'm going to use gray props. So it all is coordinated. But I talk to my parents and I say, hey, tell me a little bit about your color preferences. What color's the nursery? Where do you want to hang the pictures in your home, and what can I coordinate with? Okay.
You're based out of Stittsville?
Stittsville.
Okay, so that's where your photography lab, that's not what it's called.
Studio.
Studio.
Yes.
Okay, yes.
My photography studio.
Your photography lab. Okay,
Yes.
so that's where it's based out of. So
That's
you, how long would people have to contact you in advance? Because I can imagine you probably get pretty full.
Yeah, it depends on the time of year. You know, certain times of year, babies seem to be born a little more frequently. The fall's always popular, coming out of the winter months, right? So
why is that, Deanna?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, hey, I don't think I need to explain that.
Sure.
But yeah, so I find that you know, sometimes people can call last minute, and I can say, sure, I can fit you in this week. I have time. I book 2 due dates a week in advance.
Okay.
And so that always leaves me flexibility. You know, I have a baby coming in on Monday who was born almost 2 weeks late. So I need to have some flexibility in my schedule. I can't book 5 due dates a week, and then if a bunch of babies come early or late, I have nowhere to put them.
Of course. Okay. So what would be included in a session? What would a session be like with you?
So a newborn session, I always schedule 3 hours of time. They don't always take 3 hours, but it's important to me to have time so that I'm relaxed, the baby's relaxed, the parents are relaxed. If anything feels rushed, it's amazing how much newborns kind of sense that. So to me, I want lots of time. And then basically, they're getting the session time, they're getting the use of all the props and outfits, and they're also getting 10 high-res digitals at the end.
Okay.
They get to pick, so I send them a gallery and say, hey, here's your choices. They pick their 10. Maybe they want more, they can always purchase extras.
Okay, which is great to have that option.
Sure.
Obviously. I'm sure some sessions might wrap up real quick, but it's nice to have that extra time allotted
Absolutely,
as well.
yeah.
Okay, so you have different packages, different prices.
Yeah, and I mean, like, newborns are a little bit more because the sessions are more involved, right? I've got, first of all, the extra costs of all the props and everything, but also they're a longer session. The editing can be longer depending on the baby. Whereas like an outdoor family session, I can generally edit pretty quickly. I'm usually only devoting about an hour to shooting, versus a newborn I might be shooting for 3 hours. So you're spending a little more for a newborn session because there's more involved in it.
Okay, and you're making amazing memories.
That's my goal.
That is awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
DeannaWrightPhotography.com is the
That's
website
me.
to go
Yeah,
to.
thank you.
And we have more daytime coming up in moments on Rogers TV.